So when a hose or fitting lets go, your local NZ hose doctor will be there. With an extensive network, chances are we're not that far away. At NZ, we work hard to keep you going. NZ, on call 24/7.
It's NZ Legends night. J Mac and Smithy with you again. Thanks to our partners, Martin's Buses, Cavalier Homes, Steel On Roofing and the Newmarket Hotel. Smithy, our guest tonight, comes from a very famous Riverina sporting family. He and his family are as Irish as a hot spud, and it's no surprise that he's one of the most well-known figures of the St Patrick's Cricket Club. Welcome, Dean Carroll.
Thank you, J Mac. Hello, Smithy.
Mate.
Mate, how you going?
Good, thanks.
Take two centres, Dino. I'm going to let Smithy send the first one down to you, mate.
No worries.
Well, mate, always start with this question to loosen the vocal cords up so we can go on further. When did you start playing cricket, mate? What brought you to the game? And just give us a bit of a relive of the junior days that you played cricket.
Yeah, pretty much had a bat and a ball in my hand, whether it was footy or cricket. Little place up at Ganmain. I was there till about I was 12 or 13, and Dad taught me everything I knew. So backyard cricket, schoolyard cricket, footy cricket, and had an opportunity to play Riverina as well as under 12. So that was a little win, and then just cricket and footy and a lot of that. So it was great. And then we moved to Albury when I was about 14.
So what was your first club? Obviously, St Pat's, born and bred. Went to the. How did that evolve?
Yes, I guess so. Moved into Albury when I was 14. Yeah, joined the local St Pat's footy club and then cricket club, and got involved there in the 14s and 16s, and then debuted at 16 years old in the seniors.
Right, first grade?
Yes, yeah. Mick O'Donnell had just got to the club in, I think, late 80s, 89, 90. And, just a training one day, he said, asked me to go and have a hit in the first net. And it's one of the highlights of my life, just getting the opportunity to face some senior players at St Pat's, and made my debut at 16 against SSNA.
So who were the players you played with those days? Like who was in that side?
Some of the St Pat's players, I idolised them. There was, Peter Duck, John Duck, Stephen Chalmers, Tony Marr, Colin Watson, Mick O'Donnell, of course, Chris Haynes, so Tony Marr, current president. So it was a highlight, and to be just plucked. Mick must have saw something, and I think it was actually Steve Wood's first night at training. So he come along. And Steve mentioned the story the other week, and it was probably one of the. At the time, I thought it was senior cricket, but it was quite a scary net because there was some balls flying everywhere off 16 yards, and I was just glad Chuck Chalmers gave me a break every third or fourth ball. So, and then Woody, of course, went to Wodonga, so we missed out there.
Yeah, nice. Dino, of course, you're the son of the Coleman medalist in Turkey Tom, famous Carlton footballer. And I played a lot of sport with and against your younger brother Mick, who was a pretty serious cricketer and footballer in his own right. Can you reflect on what it was like, growing up playing sport as the son of a Carlton great? Of course, Tom loves his cricketers, a lot as well.
Yes, we were very sport orientated. My younger brother Mike and sister Anne Margaret. It was always sport. Everything revolved around sport when we were kids, and Dad was a great support. He never put any pressure on us. We knew of what he'd done, but to us, he was just Dad, and he would just, the way we were brought up, and along with Mum, it was just tremendous. So in terms of what Dad did, he was quite passionate about the cricket. He made a cement wicket for me, and would throw balls at me night after night. And then younger brother Mick as well, we'd play games, and Dad was a great support. And he wouldn't say a lot, but when I needed just a little bit of advice, junior cricket, senior cricket, he wouldn't hold back. So in terms of the pressure, I didn't feel it a lot. We were aware of it, yeah, he was great support regardless of whatever we did. Yeah.
So, mate, you've had I call it 2 careers that you've had in cricket. Like, you know, you've had your pre-18-year-old career, and we're going to touch on that right now. And you had a bit of an accident, and that's caused you to. So we'd like to sort of touch base with that and how that occur, and the process that evolved with that particular injury that you had, because obviously you're a budding talent in Riverina playing the junior stuff, and as you mentioned, getting picked for some patch first grade. So you want to live us through that terrible couple of weeks?
Yeah, I was in and out of the seniors 16, 17, and then I headed off to university in Ballarat just to do some teaching, primary school teaching, and I thought I could play cricket and footy, Smithy, get to training, but wasn't to be. But after my first year of uni, I thought I'll come back to St. Pat's and play my cricket, continue there. And one Friday, I offered to go and roll the wicket at SSNA, Bilson Park, and parents come with me, and my brother insisted head into town, and I said, can we pull into Bilson and I'll roll the wicket? And as it was back then, I just got into the shed, and the old traditional rollers that cricketers know back then, they would often lift up when you turned them on. And I went to turn it on, and I had a brick wall behind me, and it reversed and pinned me against the wall, and it crushed my groin. And I still had my hand on the roller, so it was all over in a matter of seconds. And I went out and collapsed on the ground, and good old Dad, he said, get up, you'll be right, it's only a bruise. And but it wasn't to be. I went home for a couple of hours and woke up, and I was black. I think, I'd crushed my main artery in my groin, and quickly went into emergency, and they put in a plastic artery of about 20 centimetres that I still have today. And so that was at 18, and I had 12 months of no cricket, went back to try and play some footy, but went again, so another major operation. Then 6 months later, I had another operation. So I had 3 operations before I was 20, and doctor said I would never play again. So that was hard to take, but luckily he said, you're a young bloke, we'll give you another chance. And I had some aspirin, blood thinning tablets, and I never looked back. So I think I was back playing when I was 21, cricket at St. Pat's.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So about your cricket career, like, your highlight post that, and it's an emotional time, because I've heard so many stories in regards to and this is from the inner sanctums of the St. Pat's Cricket Club. I get close to the greatest bat, the best footwork, and the greatest set of hands is what I've always said. You had very little footwork, but you had an eye of a dead fish. Mate, can you highlight one of the innings that you played prior to that? And then we'll go further.
I think it was against the Lavies and a little bit of SSNA. Before I was as a teenager, those powerful SSNA sides, Lavie, Wodonga with the Williamsons, just quick after quick, and the spinners. And I thought it was normal senior cricket. I just went out, and Mick O'Donnell, as I said before, was lucky enough to put me in, and I got a couple of 50s, but then I also got a few ducks as well, so it was an eye-opener. And then early senior cricket, come back, in about 96, 97, and made some 50s, and got 100 in the late 90s, 2000s. So that was a highlight. So it was a build-up, and had some big moments in finals, which we can touch on later. But
absolutely.
So I guess when you're in your early 20s, and you just want to enjoy, have fun with the boys, and late 90s, we were nearly wooden spooners. So I know the club had made a grand final in the early 90s and semis, but I was away, unfortunately, and injured. But the late 90s, we were pretty low. We weren't. we had to build, and Chris Whiten fortunately saw something and appointed me captain, in the late 90s. And that was a build in itself, just to build to a premiership.
Dino, couple from me. Was district cricket ever an option?
I had one opportunity, J-Mac, to go down to Melbourne in '99. I got offered a job down in the Hawthorn area, so I was keen, but then I had some more sort of medical type stuff, and I had to weigh up what to do. And I think the St. Pat's heartstring was pulling, and a premiership was just there, and I thought I'll stay at St. Pat's and stay locally working in sport. So I could have went down, but I said no.
No, absolutely. And just obviously you played probably a lot of your career alongside Heath Norton, Aaron West and Cameron Furze, a pretty good attack. I can only imagine they kept you on your toes in the nets and in intra-club games. Yeah,
they did. I was lucky enough to have an amazing bowling attack, and they'll tell me about it. They reckon they did all the work, and us batsmen couldn't put enough runs on the board a few times. But they were tremendous. Heath came from Moruga in '97, and Cameron in about 2000, and Aaron as well. So we were able to build a team, and they're amazing support. And then Kane is our spinner, and I think we had 7 or 8 locals in the team. And I know in the late 90s the C grade and the B grade were winning a lot of premierships at St. Pat's, which was great. And I guess the fire in the guts was when playing A grade late in the 90s, and I rocked up to Soden's, as you do, to have a beer with the players, and there were 11 empty chairs, and they asked me to sit in it. And they said, "Where's all the A graders?" And from then on, I thought, I'm never going to forget that. I'm going to, do what I can do. And 5 or 6 years later, we won a premiership. So just those little things that, I love me cricket and batting and playing, but you got to have that burning and competitive edge, which I had.
You work hard, so when a hose or fitting lets go, your local NZ hose doctor will be there. With an extensive network, chances are we're not that far away. At NZ, we work hard to keep you going. NZ, on call 24/7.
And obviously builds a culture within the club as well, Dino, to get the...
It does, St. Pat's has got a great culture, and it always has, and I've just... the Ducks and the Charmers and the Azais are... I just learnt from them. And then it changed a little bit in the late 90s, because it become sort of, we're in our mid-20s, and Mick O'Donnell come back. And I told him, I said, "No, Mick, we're not doing fire and brimstone this time." So in my first year as captain, we made the finals. We played Benny Stewart and Wodonga, and unfortunately it got washed out, and we basically had 2 days just to a draw. Next year, we lost to Labby in a semi, and then lost another one. So we started to build something, and the players, let's go for a ride. And we had some hurt. We lost to Granny to Labby, and then we just couldn't wait till finals, J-Mac and Smithy. We had some great tussles with Labby and North Albury, Bardo and Dave, and Steve Wright. It was great times, and I'm pretty sure they were fearful of our bowling attack.
From the outside, it seems that Patties fancies itself as a family club, and you only have to have a look at the sets of brothers that have played in recent times that you might have played with. Obviously, your brother Mick, the Aaron Darcicus boys, the Kritzbergers, maybe Todd and Corey Brown. I'm not sure if you ever saw a young Daniel Cross playing cricket at Paddy's, and if you have, what were your thoughts about him, and maybe if you could make comment about playing with all the sets of brothers at Paddy's.
We, as you said, J-Mac, a family club. I played with Daniel's dad, Peter. Played against him when I was coming back from uni. The Aaron Darcicuses, Troy I played with, Kane, Casey, played with his dad, Algie, Ron, so the family connections there. Kreutzbergers. Crossy was a touch younger. He was mixed, touch younger there. Good keeper, I think they tell me, but didn't see a lot of him, J Mac, but saw a bit of Andrew McDonald, obviously Dom Thornley. But yeah, we had a lot of siblings, and it was great, to be a part of that.
So coming to the present, Dino, you talk of grand finals, and you had a great success last year in the C1 grand final, I think, against Corowa. You didn't interrupt the scoreboard that particular day, my friend, but I think a duck comes to mind. Mate, you won the club award, I believe, for runs, but there was a little fella that used to do all the running for you, and Liam Plunkett. He's also part of it. And I know Liam personally because I've had the privilege of umpiring him. And how much have you enjoyed and your role right now in the club? With your junior development, bringing these kids on. Can you give us a bit of an oversight of that?
Yeah, it's always been part of me. I guess my career with the teaching and coaching, and I think I'd worked out the other day, Smithy, I've done up to 25 years straight of coaching or captaining cricket or footy, so since '97. So I've always loved that side of things, and come back to St. Pat's and getting to a premiership, and then having my accident in '06, you sort of regroup, and I stepped away a little. Yarra Mulwala were great. They're a great club too. They offered me a job back here and to coach the inaugural club, and I did that for a few years and loved it. And the competitiveness, I didn't want to sort of go back to that mindset. But Heath planted a seed a couple of years ago. He said, "Do you want to come and have a hit with his young bloke and Fursey's young bloke?" And we signed a coaster at the Newmarket, Smithy, and I said, "I'll come and have a hit" last year, and with Kane as well, and didn't want anything much to do with it. But things evolved, and the Plunky was one of the young blokes with young Fursey and Holmey and Brian Lassie as captain, Moose Kieran, part of that team. They were great. So thank you to Mick Ertlejack and the league. They give me a runner, and I think a few teams weren't too happy, but stand and deliver. But Plunky was great. He even had himself looking up the scorebook, and what did we get? Rowdy. So I was very fortunate.
What was the gap between there? Like when you had, like how far we weren't playing between when you come back and did that role?
Yeah, as I said, I had that initial accident when I was 18, and then I'd had probably 8 years at A grade from 22 on sort of onwards to about 31, and that took me up to about 2005-06, and about third or fourth round. Yep. The leg was never great, even from when I was 18. So I've been basically on one leg my whole career. But I couldn't run a lap of an oval with a full lap without probably getting a little bit of a cramp 3/4 of the way around, and I had to manage it. So not many players knew I played against. And I put myself in the right fielding spot, Smithy. I could put my younger brother behind me, or Phantom, or running between wickets, make sure they hit it harder. And so fitness-wise, I could bat. I knew that, but I just, it didn't. Every now and then it wouldn't feel right, and I'd just have to manage it. And then I ended up 06 at Bunton Park. It didn't feel good, and it slowly got worse, and I ended up limping off the ground, and Dad nodded his head from a couple hundred metres away, and he knew something wasn't right. So went into the change rooms and tried to regroup, and I got carried to my car and to Albury Base Hospital, and I was in a lot of pain. My leg had clotted, and that was about 4 o'clock. And then by about 6 o'clock, Dad had joined me and my younger brother and Heath in the room, and I'd said to the nurse, please, give me something for the pain. And she said, I've put out a horse. I said, well, it's not working because of the blood clot. The pain wasn't working, the pain killers. So I said, what do you want to do? You want to operate on me now or leave it and let's go to Melbourne? And they said, look, let's have a go here. Helicopters were out. Ambulances were busy, as in air ambulance. So I said, yep, have a crack, try and save my artery first. And then I said, before I go to sleep, which part of your leg are you going? And could I lose if I wake up? I knew there was always a chance. From when I was 18, I might one day something could happen. And the doctor looked at me and he said, worst case scenario, bottom half of your leg may come off. And I said, thank you, give him the thumbs up and went to sleep. Well, I think Nordo and Dad and younger brother got a huge shock. So 9 o'clock, no success that night. So no success to a few people in Albury and Corryong and Yarrawonga meant leg was off, but no, the leg was still there. They saved it, and then I got flown to Melbourne 11 o'clock that night, had a 7-hour operation, and they saved my leg. So it was a bit scary. Being obviously the person, it's more family and friends probably not knowing that it hurt them a lot. And so it was a big time to go down, and I woke up and still had my leg. So, and then had 7 operations in 4 weeks to save the leg. So wow. I try and explain it. If you can imagine a piece of meat that goes off, that's what my lower leg did. It just went white, and they saved it, and I was grateful. I feel lucky. I know it sounds strange, but to do what I've been able to do cricket-wise and footy and life. I think the next morning or the following day, I was feeling a bit flat, and Sam Walsh's grandfather, current Carlton footballer, I heard him screaming in the room next to me for a night or two, and he'd lost both his hands and a leg, and I thought, I'm doing okay. And we got to know each other over the next few weeks, and we had a lot of good times. So it made me realise that, I was okay. I'd get by, and when others are worse off. So, it was a big moment, and then just recovery after that. And now I wear an orthotic because I have foot drop, so I can stand and deliver and bowl off a couple of steps and stand in slips, but I can't run.
Yeah, so how long were you out of the game for? Like, when did you? Okay, 2000.
I was out from 2006 to 2012. Yarrawonga were a little short in the C grade, so thankfully the Wang Comp give me a runner for a year, and then it wasn't until last year I took another 8 years off, and